Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of my math videos. In this video, I'll be going over more equations of lines. Our objectives are to use the point-slope form to write the equation of a line, write equations of vertical and horizontal lines, write equations of parallel and perpendicular lines, use the point-slope form in real-world applications. Alright, so let's get started. First, we're going to go over the point-slope form of the equation of a line. Here it states the point-slope form equation of a line is y minus y1 equals m times the parentheses x minus x1 close parentheses, where m is the slope of the line and parentheses x1 comma y1 close parentheses is a point on the line. In the next example, I'll show you how we apply the point-slope form equation. For example number 1, find the equation of a line with the given information. For part A, we're given the slope m equals -3 and the point parentheses 1 comma -5 close parentheses. We also need to write our answer in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. First, we need the point-slope equation, which is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Next, we substitute in the value for m, which is -3, and then we plug in our point 1 comma -5. So we plug in 1 for x and -5 for y. We get y minus parentheses -5 close parentheses equals -3 parentheses x minus 1 close parentheses. Simplifying the left-hand side, we have y minus -5. This becomes y plus 5. On the right-hand side, I just rewrote my equation as -3 parentheses x minus 1 close parentheses. Next, we distribute the -3 inside the parentheses to the x and the -1. We get -3x plus 3. On the left-hand side, we just bring down the y plus 5. So we get y plus 5 equals -3x plus 3. From here, we get rid of the plus 5 by subtracting 5 from both sides of the equation. On the left-hand side, the plus 5 and minus 5 cancels out, and we bring down the y. On the right-hand side, we have plus 3 and minus 5. This gives us -2, and we bring down the minus 3x. So the result is y equals -3x minus 2. This equation is already in slope-intercept form, so this is our final answer. Moving on to part B, we need to find the equation of a line that goes through the points 4, 0 and -4, -5. We also need to write our answer in standard form, which is capital A x plus capital B y equals capital C. The first thing we need to do in this problem is find the slope. So we use the slope equation, m equals the fraction y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. In this problem, my x1 and y1 will be 4, 0, and my x2 and y2 will be -4, -5. Substituting in those values into the slope equation, we get that m is equal to -5 minus 0 divided by -4 minus 4. Simplifying this, we get -5 divided by -8, which is equal to +5 over 8. Now that we have the slope, we can use the point-slope equation. We substitute 5 over 8 in for m, and for the x1 and y1, we can use any one of the given points. We can use 4, 0 or -4, -5. However, I'm going to use 4, 0 because it's easier to do calculations with those numbers. After substituting in the values, we get y minus 0 equals 5 over 8 times parentheses x minus 4 close parentheses. Simplifying the left-hand side, y minus 0 is just y, and on the right-hand side, we distribute the 5 over 8 inside the parentheses. We get 5 over 8x minus 20 over 8. So the result is y equals 5 over 8x minus 20 over 8. The next step is to rewrite this in standard form. First, I'm going to move the 5 over 8x to the left-hand side by subtracting 5 over 8x from both sides of the equation. After doing the subtraction, we get negative 5 over 8x plus y equals negative 20 over 8. The next step is to get rid of the fractions. We do this by multiplying all of the terms here by the LCD, which is 8. Doing the multiplication, we get 8 times negative 5 over 8x plus 8 times y equals 8 times negative 20 over 8. Simplifying the left-hand side, 8 times negative 5 over 8x becomes negative 5x. 8 times y becomes 8y. And on the right-hand side, 8 times negative 20 over 8 simplifies to just negative 20. So our final answer in standard form will be negative 5x plus 8y equals negative 20. Next, we have a practice problem for you to solve. For part A, find the equation of a line that has a slope of negative 2 and contains the point 2, negative 4. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. For part B, find the equation of a line that goes through the points 3, 0 and negative 2, 4. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, try out these problems, and then check back with the video to see the answer. Alright, so let's get started with part A. For part A, we just go ahead and substitute in our value of negative 2 in for the slope, and the point 2, negative 4 for our x1 and y1 in the point slope equation. We get y minus negative 4 equals negative 2 times the parentheses x minus 2 close parentheses. Simplifying the left-hand side, we get y plus 4, and on the right-hand side, I just rewrote it as negative 2 parentheses x minus 2 close parentheses. From here, we could distribute the negative 2 inside the parentheses to the x and also the minus 2. Doing the distribution, we get negative 2x plus 4. On the left-hand side, we could just bring down the y plus 4. We get y plus 4 equals negative 2x plus 4. Next, we get rid of the positive 4's by subtracting 4 from both sides of the equation. Simplifying the left-hand side, positive 4 and minus 4 cancels out, and we bring down the y. On the right-hand side, the positive 4 and the negative 4 cancels out, and we bring down the minus 2x. So our final answer in slope-intercept form is y equals minus 2x. Moving on to part B, the first thing we need to do is find our slope. 3, 0 will be my x1, y1. Negative 2 and 4 will be my x2, y2. Plugging in those values in my slope formula, we get m is equal to 4 minus 0 divided by negative 2 minus 3, which is equal to 4 divided by negative 5. Next, we'll use the point slope equation and substitute in our value for the slope, which is negative 4 over 5, and the point 3, 0. Plugging in those values, we get y minus 0 equals negative 4 over 5 times the parentheses x minus 3 close parentheses. Simplifying the left-hand side, y minus 0 is just y. On the right-hand side, we distribute negative 4 over 5 inside the parentheses to the x and the minus 3. We get negative 4 over 5x plus 12 over 5. So the result is y equals negative 4 over 5x plus 12 over 5. From here, we need to rewrite this in standard form. So I'm going to move the negative 4 over 5x to the left-hand side. So we just add 4 over 5x to both sides of the equation. After simplifying, we get 4 over 5x plus y equals 12 over 5. From here, we get rid of the fractions by multiplying all of the terms by the LCD, which is 5. So we get 5 times 4 over 5x plus 5 times y equals 5 times 12 over 5. Simplifying the left-hand side, 5 times 4 over 5x is just 4x. 5 times y is 5y. And on the right-hand side, 5 times 12 over 5 is just 12. So our final answer in standard form is 4x plus 5y equals 12. For example number 2, find the equation of a line with the given information. For part A, we need to find the equation of a line that is horizontal and contains the point 1, negative 5. Now if you remember the equation for a horizontal line, then this problem would be easy. However, if you forgot or you think you may have mixed it up for a vertical line, the best thing to do would be to just graph a horizontal line going through the point 1, negative 5. So below you could see here I graphed the horizontal line going through the point 1, negative 5. Notice here that my horizontal line crosses the y-axis at 0, negative 5. This should help you remember that the equation for a horizontal line is y equals the y value of the y-intercept, which is y equals negative 5. Moving on to part B, we need to find the equation of a vertical line that contains the point 4, 7. So again, if you know the equation for a vertical line, this problem is pretty easy to do. However, if you forget, just graph the vertical line going through the point. So here I have a vertical line going through the point 4, 7. Notice here that the vertical line crosses the x-axis at 4, 0. This helps me remember that the equation for a vertical line is x equals the x value of the x-intercept. So the equation is x equals 4. Next we have example number 3. Find an equation for a line that is parallel to the given line and contains the given point. Remember here that parallel lines have the same slope. For part A, we need to find an equation of a line that is parallel to the line that's created by the equation 2x plus y equals 5 and contains the point 2, negative 2. The first thing we need to do is put the equation in slope-intercept form so we can find the slope. To do this, we need to move the 2x to the right-hand side by subtracting 2x from both sides of the equation. Subtracting 2x from both sides results in y equals negative 2x plus 5. Now we could see that the slope is negative 2, so I wrote m equals negative 2. And now we could use the point slope equation. So I'm going to plug in my value of m equaling negative 2 and our point 2, negative 2 into the point slope equation. We get y minus negative 2 equals negative 2 times the parentheses x minus 2, close parentheses. From here we could simplify the left-hand side. Y minus negative 2 becomes y plus 2. On the right-hand side, we could distribute the negative 2 inside the parentheses to the x and the negative 2. We get negative 2x plus 4. So the result is y plus 2 equals negative 2x plus 4. From here, we need to get rid of the positive 2 by subtracting 2 from both sides of the equation. On the left-hand side, plus 2 minus 2 will cancel out and give us y. On the right-hand side, plus 4 minus 2 results in 2. And then we could bring down the minus 2x. Our final answer in slope-intercept form is y equals negative 2x plus 2. This equation is a line that is parallel to the given equation and goes to the point 2, negative 2. Moving on to part B, we need to find the equation of a line that is parallel to x equals negative 2 and goes through the point 4, negative 6. Since we have the equation x equals negative 2, this tells me that we're working with a vertical line and the slope here is undefined. Now all we need to do here is write the equation for a vertical line going through the point 4, negative 6. This would just be x equals 4. However, if you didn't really remember that, you could always just graph a vertical line going through the point 4, negative 6. So here you could see I have the graph of x equals negative 2. And I also have a vertical line going through the point 4, negative 6. Hopefully, when you see the graph of the vertical line crossing the x-axis, it'll remind you that the equation for a vertical line is just x equals the x value of the x-intercept. You could see here the x-intercept for our vertical line is at 4, 0. Our final answer is x equals 4. Next, we have a practice problem. Find an equation for the line that is parallel to the given line and contains the given point. For part A, we have the equation 3x plus y equals 5 and the point parentheses -1, 2, close parentheses. For part B, we have the equation y equals 7 and the point parentheses 1, 4, close parentheses. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video, try out this problem, and then check back with the video to see the answer. Okay, so let's get started with part A. The first thing we need to do here is put the equation in slope-intercept form so we can identify the slope. So I'm going to get rid of the 3x by subtracting 3x from both sides of the equation. After doing the subtraction, the result is y equals -3x plus 5. So the slope here is m equals -3. From here we could plug in our value of -3 in for slope and our point -1, 2 into the point slope equation. We get y minus 2 equals -3 times the parentheses x minus -1, close parentheses. On the right hand side, I simplified the inner parentheses by taking the x minus -1 and rewriting it as x plus 1. On the left hand side, I just brought down the y minus 2, so I get y minus 2 equals -3 times the parentheses x plus 1, close parentheses. From here, we could distribute the -3 inside the parentheses to the x and the plus 1. This gives us -3x minus 3. On the left-hand side, we could bring down the y minus 2, so the result is y minus 2 equals -3x minus 3. From here, we could get rid of the minus 2 by adding 2 to both sides of the equation. On the left-hand side, the minus 2 plus 2 cancels out, and we're left with y. On the right-hand side, we have minus 3 and plus 2 gives us -1, and we bring down the -3x. The result is y equals -3x minus 1. So this is our final answer. This represents the equation of a line that is parallel to the given line and goes through the point -1, 2. For part B, I drew the graph of the horizontal line y equals 7, and I plotted the point 1, 4. At 1, 4, I drew a horizontal line going through that point, which you can see is parallel to the given line y equals 7. The equation for the horizontal line going through the point 1, 4 is y equals 4. So this is the final answer. Next we have example number 4. It states here, find an equation for the line that is perpendicular to the given line and contains the given point. Recall that perpendicular lines have slopes which are negative reciprocals of each other. For instance, if you have one slope is 1/2, then the negative reciprocal of 1/2 is -2/1. For example 4, we're given the equation 3x plus 5y equals 4 and the point -1, 2. We start off by taking this equation and putting it in slope-intercept form so that we can identify the slope. First, we need to move the 3x to the right side of the equation, so we subtract 3x from both sides of the equation. The result is 5y equals -3x plus 4. From here, we need to get rid of the 5 in front of the y by dividing out 5 on both sides of the equation. So we get 5y divided by 5 equals -3x divided by 5 plus 4 divided by 5. Simplifying the left-hand side, 5y divided by 5 is y. On the right-hand side, -3x divided by 5 we can rewrite as -3/5x. And then we'll just bring down the 4 divided by 5. The result is y equals -3/5x plus 4/5. For this problem, we need to find a line that is perpendicular to this line here. The slope of this line here is -3/5. If we wanted a line that is parallel to this line, then we use the same exact slope. But we want it to be perpendicular, so we need to use the negative reciprocal of -3/5. The negative reciprocal is +5/3. So over here I wrote m with a little perpendicular sign underneath it equals 5/3. Next we could plug in our perpendicular slope 5/3 and the point -1, 2 into the point slope equation. So I have y minus 2 equals 5 over 3 times the parentheses x minus -1 close parentheses. On the right hand side, I just simplified the x minus -1 inside the parentheses as x plus 1, and then I brought down the 5/3. On the left hand side, I just brought down the y minus 2. So the result is y minus 2 equals 5 over 3 times the parentheses x plus 1 close parentheses. From here, we could distribute the 5/3 inside the parentheses to the x and the plus 1. We get 5 over 3x plus 5 over 3. On the left-hand side, we could just bring down the y minus 2. So the result is y minus 2 equals 5 over 3x plus 5 over 3. Next, we need to get rid of the minus 2 by adding 2 to both sides of the equation. Simplifying the left-hand side, the minus 2 and the plus 2 cancels out, and we just get y. On the right-hand side, we have plus 5/3 plus 2 gives us 11 over 3. And then we bring down the 5/3 x. The result is y equals 5 over 3x plus 11 over 3. This equation represents a line that is perpendicular to the line given by the original equation and also goes through the point -1, 2. Next, we have a practice problem. Find an equation for the line that is perpendicular to the given line and contains the given point. The equation we have here is 2x plus 4y equals 5, and the point is 3, 4. So go ahead and pause the video, try out this problem, and then check back with the video to see the solutions. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is move the 2x over to the other side of the equation. We just subtract 2x from both sides of the equation. The result is 4y equals -2x plus 5. From here, we get rid of the 4 in front of the y by dividing both sides by 4. We get 4y divided by 4 equals -2x divided by 4 plus 5 divided by 4. Simplifying the left-hand side, 4y divided by 4 is y. On the right-hand side, -2x divided by 4 is -1/2 x. And then we just bring down the 5 over 4. So the result is y equals -1/2 x plus 5 over 4. The slope for this equation is -1/2. We need to use the negative reciprocal of -1/2, which is positive 2 over 1, or you could just write it as positive 2. So here I have m with the little perpendicular sign equals positive 2. Next, we plug in 2 for our slope and the point 3, 4 into the point slope equation. So we get y minus 4 equals 2 times the parentheses x minus 3, close parentheses. From here, we could distribute the 2 inside the parentheses to the x and the minus 3. We get 2x minus 6. On the left-hand side, we could bring down the y minus 4. The result is y minus 4 equals 2x minus 6. Next, we could get rid of the minus 4 by adding 4 to both sides of the equation. On the left-hand side, the minus 4 and the plus 4 cancels out, and we bring down the y. On the right-hand side, minus 6 plus 4 gives us -2, and we bring down the 2x. So the final result is y equals 2x minus 2. This equation represents a line which is perpendicular to the line from the given equation and goes to the point 3, 4. In example number 5, it states, in 2010, there were approximately 78 million mobile internet users in the United States, and this number grew to about 156 million in 2015. This growth is illustrated in the graph where the line passes through the points 2010, 78 and 2015, 156. For part A, find a linear equation that models the data given. To find the linear equation, we just take the 2 points that were given and plug it into the slope equation. The slope equation is m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Our x1, y1 will be 2010, 78, and our x2, y2 will be 2015, 156. Plugging in those values into our slope equation, we get that m is equal to 156 minus 78 divided by 2015 minus 2010. Simplifying this, we get that m is equal to 78 divided by 5. Next, we'll need to use the point-slope equation, which is y minus y1 equals m times the parentheses x minus x1 close parentheses. From here, we need to choose one of the points that were given to substitute into the point-slope equation. Either one of these points will yield the same results. However, I'm going to use 2010, 78. I'll also plug in the slope value of 78 over 5. Plugging in those values into the point-slope equation, we get y minus 78 equals 78 over 5 times the parentheses x minus 2010 close parentheses. From here, we need to distribute the 78 over 5 inside the parentheses to the x and the minus 2010. We get 78 over 5x minus 31,356. On the left-hand side, we just bring down the y minus 78. The result is y minus 78 equals 78 over 5x minus 31,356. The next step is getting rid of the minus 78 by adding 78 to both sides of the equation. Simplifying the left-hand side, minus 78 and plus 78 cancels out, and we get a y. On the right-hand side, we have minus 31,356 plus 78 will give us negative 31,278, and then we bring down the 78 over 5x. Our final result is y equals 78 over 5x minus 31,278. Moving on to part B, we need to interpret the slope. The slope that we found from part A was 78 over 5. Recall that slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. On the numerator, we have a difference of y's. In this problem, y represents mobile internet users in millions. We can see this labeled on the y-axis for the graph that was given. In the denominator of the slope, we have a difference of x's. In this problem, the units for x is years. We could see that the x-axis is labeled year in the graph that was given. So we have that our slope is equal to 78 million mobile internet users over 5 years. Our slope here is positive. So the way we interpret this is that the number of mobile internet users increases 78 million every 5 years. Moving on to part C, it states here, use your equation to estimate the number of mobile internet users in the year 2018. Round to the nearest whole number. So we just take our equation that we found from part A, y equals 78 over 5x minus 31,278, and then we use the x value of 2018 to estimate the number of mobile internet users in the year 2018. We go ahead and substitute 2018 in for x. We get y is equal to 78 over 5 times 2018 minus 31,278. Next, we go ahead and simplify. So multiply 78 over 5 times 2018 is 31,480.80. And we bring down the minus 31,278. Taking the difference of those two numbers, we get 202.80. Next, we need to round 202.80 to the nearest whole number, which is 203. Writing our final answer in a short sentence, I have the number of mobile internet users in 2018 is 203 million. Alright, so we reached the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Professor Diwa, and I'll see you in the next one.